little pony, my little pony.
Hey guys, FilmCrazyAdam here. You're about to go see another movie. Very special movie because it's the first My Little Pony movie in theaters in almost 30 years. Yes, I'm about to go see My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Equestria Girls. And I'm up at 9 a.m. on a Sunday to do this because the only theater in all of Los Angeles that shows it is actually up here in the Valley, and they only show it at 10 a.m. on the weekends. So I will be leaving to go see that because it's going to take me a little while to get to the theater. But beside the point, and yes, I understand that this isn't like a big name movie, and this is more of a review for the bronies or just people, I guess, who are curious of my thoughts on this movie. So, what are my thoughts going into this movie? What am I expecting out of this movie? Well, you see, here's the thing, and I don't know why Hasbro has done this, because the fans are happy with the show. I'm happy with the show, and the fan base at large is very happy with the show. We love that show. We love the songs, we love the characters, we love the story, we love the little comedic overall tone of the show. We really enjoy it for what it is. And the only thing that we want more than this show is more episodes of the show. We love it. We love it the way it is. So, I don't really get it. I don't understand why Hasbro has gone in this completely different direction from the show. Like, they're not ponies anymore. I mean, those who are watching this video probably have already seen the trailer, so you know that Twilight travels to the human world. And they're not ponies anymore. So, I don't know, you know, it's like, why are you doing this twist? Why are you, like, improving something that didn't need improving? You know, why add 5 wheels to a car when 4 are fine and everyone loves the 4 wheels on a car, you know? So, I feel that Hasbro is trying to fix something that's not broken, or they're trying to improve something that you really can't improve on. So, anyway, that's my mindset going into this movie, is that I'm going to go in with an open mind. You know, these are characters that I love. These are, you know, actors that I think are great. And so far, Hasbro hasn't let me down in terms of story and in terms of, you know, ruining a good thing. That may change after this, but we'll see. So, I'm going to go to see this movie now, and I'll see you guys in a few hours. Alright, so, I just got back from seeing My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Equestria Girls in theaters. And before I get to anything, I will go on record by saying this. I enjoyed it. Okay? I'm going to say that right now. I enjoyed this movie. I'm not saying it was a good movie. I'm not saying anything else in terms of quality until I say this. If you are a fan of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, go see this movie. If you are a fan of the overall tone and story and camaraderie of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, go see this movie. If you enjoy a happy story with a happy ending, some cute songs in there, some of them really good and are going on my iPod as soon as I'm done with this video, go see this movie. If you are a fan of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, you are already biased towards this movie, and depending on your attitude, you might be biased against the movie. But I still recommend going to see it by any of the fans. You'll like it. Just because if you like the show, you should like this movie. That being said, I will now go into the good things and the bad things about this movie. The good thing about this movie is that it did not break from established story and the established characters that we know and love. This was a story about them and with them in it. So this was just about a 75-minute episode. That's all this was. So, for those of you wondering if maybe they were going in a different direction with the story, no, they're not. So, so I like that. And they retained all the same actors. That was good about this movie. They had some good songs in it. They only had really, I'll argue that they only had really one main song other than the opening theme song. You see in the trailer where they're clapping and they're singing. That's like the one song that everyone actually sings to in the movie. That's the only one that actually they interact with the song. Every other song, which with vocals, is just background for the most part. So I like that too, that they didn't get bogged down on the songs. Now I will go into the things I didn't like about this movie. The one biggest thing, and I know every one of you fans are thinking about it, and it's the one thing that's kind of been the clashing point of this entire movie ever since it was announced, and that is the humanized versions of the ponies. And even though I knew it was coming, even though I was expecting it, the minute that I saw it on screen, I still had this reaction.
Oh, come on!
Yes! Nothing encompassed my reaction better than that. So, here's my thing about that. Now, again, I want to go on record by already saying that I liked this movie. I enjoyed it. But I will say that there was a lot of distracting parts in it, and the humanized ponies was probably the biggest distraction. Because, as a film reviewer, and I understand, before I continue, I will understand this about this review, is that I am going to be judging this review slightly different, or this movie slightly different than I do other movies, because, let's be fair, and let's be honest, this movie, it's a cartoon movie, and its source material is stuff that's aimed at little girls. This is not aimed at adults. I don't think it is. I think they're still aiming it at little kids, but they're aware of their adult audience. I think that's what's going on. But, I digress. Anyway, this movie, it's an animated movie. It's a kid's movie. So I can't really judge this movie the same way I would judge Watchmen or Man of Steel or any other big Hollywood blockbuster or any just live-action movie aimed at adults. It just wouldn't be fair, and it just wouldn't be realistic to argue all the plot points and plot holes and continuity and this, that, and the other thing. It just wouldn't be fair. So I'm not going to judge this the same way I would another movie. I will judge this based on its own merits. So, this movie, based on the fact that it's based on a girl's toy line, and it's an animated cartoon movie that was only in limited theaters, it was still pretty to bad in terms of overall movie-ness. Because, look, if you're not a fan of My Little Pony, you are going to think this is dumb as hell. Like, this really, only the fans are going to watch this movie, number one, and only some of the fans are going to like it, number two. Because, getting back to the things I didn't like about the movie, the humans, the humanized version of the ponies. Why did we do that? Or I should say, why did Hasbro do that? Because a few people have asked me in the comments on my YouTube videos, what was I going to think about Equestria Girls? My response was this, that, well, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm not going to prejudge it. I'm going to go in with an open mind. I'm not going to go in hating it. However, I do question, why did Hasbro make them humans? Because you had such a great thing going with these ponies, with this TV show, with this fan base. The fan base, us, we love the show as it is. We love these characters. We love these stories. We love the songs that come in every other episode. We love the comedic tone of it. And we love the little message at the end and how it all works together. It all ties in. We like it because of what it is. We like it the way it is. As far as I know, nobody in the fan base, other than when they tried to remove Derpy from the TV show, I don't remember anyone yelling and arguing about things that they needed to change in the TV show. Everyone's happy the way it is, except when they tried to remove Derpy. So, why are they changing it? Like, I would get it if everyone's like, well, we need more of this character, or we need more side characters, or we need more songs. And then the show kind of reflected that. But I don't remember anyone saying, you know what we need? We need a human episode. I want to see these characters on screen as humans. Now, I know there's a lot of fan art that humanizes the ponies. The difference between having an entire show around that concept and having like a still life of that is basically that. You can kind of imagine your own idea of what these characters would look like, but it's not really, you're not reimagining the story, you're just reimagining the characters and how, you know, it's clever and cute that you can humanize them. Now, arguably, you can say the same thing about this movie. They're not changing the story. This is a story of My Little Pony. It really is. But with human characters. Again, my question is, why are you changing the wrapper? Or why are you changing the package? If it's the same thing on the inside, why are you changing the outside? No one's arguing about that. No one wanted you to do that. Now, I'm going to stop on that because, to me, it just seems such a departure from what we've been seeing for the last 3 years that no one asked for. So it just seemed kind of stupid and kind of jarring to me that, okay, now we're going with humans now? Why? We liked them as ponies because they were ponies. We liked them because they had magic. They were unicorns. And we liked them because they were Pegasus. They could fly. We liked them because they're earth ponies. We liked them because of what they are. If you made this show as Equestria Girls to begin with, and instead of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, if you just named it Equestria Girls Friendship is Magic, the show probably wouldn't have done nearly as well. I mean, we'll never know. But beside that, I will say that it didn't ruin the movie at all. This movie was still good, and it's when it comes out on DVD, I'm picking it up. I'll tell you right now. But it was a constant distraction through the entire movie that I'm so used to seeing Fluttershy as Fluttershy, but now she's this, like, really tall chick, and she doesn't have wings, and Rarity, I'm so used to her just being Rarity, like, and it's also just weird to see them wearing clothes. I mean, you know, you're just so used to seeing, like Rainbow Dash, you're used to seeing all blue, and then like her rainbow mane and her rainbow hair, as opposed to wearing clothes, and then you see patches of blue, and so it was just a constant distraction. So that was the first thing I didn't like in this movie. And I will also say this. I'm jumping ahead to the end, and this is spoilers. I'm going into spoiler territory right now. But Twilight, they somehow, in a day and a half, swing the entire opinion of the school, which again is BS, even for a cartoon movie, that in 36 hours we're able to change everyone's opinion and everyone votes for Twilight. That's kind of crap. And the way that things were resolved, like Sunset Shimmer, when she comes into the human world, she drives a wedge between the 5 main ponies. All of them were all friends at one point, but Sunset Shimmer, because she's a bitch, decided, well, I'm going to mess up their friendship just because. It doesn't really affect the story, it doesn't really affect her mission, but I'm going to mess up their friendship just because of spite, I guess. And so these 3 girls have been mad at each other for like 2 or 3 years, you know. And girls, I mean, especially in high school, but I mean girls, and say what you will about this remark, you can say it's sexist or not, but I'm going to say it's true that most girls are a little bit more passionate about holding on to grudges than guys. That being said, I think I might have just gotten myself in trouble with that statement. But anyway, I'm going to continue on that line of thought anyway. But I don't think they would be able to resolve their friendships in the 10 seconds that they resolve their friendship, their arguments, I should say, their differences that Sunset Shimmer set up between them. They resolve these differences in seconds, literally seconds. 3 years of a grudge is suddenly resolved in 10 seconds, which I thought was kind of, really?
Really?
I mean, I know this is made for little girls, I know this movie is aimed at kids, but come on, really? Wait, how do we say it, Sweetie Belle?
Oh, come on!
So that's how I felt every time something got resolved, and how at the end Twilight is now the favorite at the high school, and everyone votes for her. And I was like, really? Okay. I mean, honestly, if someone sang that song in my cafeteria during homecoming, I'd probably vote for them too, just to be fair. But so, we get to the end of the movie, and Twilight has now won the crown. She's got her crown back, but Sunset Shimmer is not going to settle for that. And so, she and Snips and Snails attack Twilight and everybody, and after a very fun, very comedic little chase, Sunset Shimmer gets her hands on the crown thing. She puts it on, and she transforms into one of Disney's gargoyles. I kid you not. And at that point, I'm not going to do the Sweetie Belle thing again, but really I was like, oh, come on! I even said that in theaters. I was like, oh, come on, really? And some people did look at me, but a lot of people laughed. But I was just like, where are we going with it? Like, really? You get a magic tiara, and it transforms you into a gargoyle. And really? I mean, that movie jumped the shark big time when that happened. I was like, oh my god, really?
Really?
Yep. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it at that point. I'm like, we're going here. I mean, this movie was silly to begin with. Sillier than a regular episode of My Little Pony. And this is where we're going with it. Oh my god, really? Now, again, I enjoyed this movie, and even that part I laughed out loud because of the ridiculousness of the situation. I was like, oh my god. Oh, wow. Yeah. We went there. Or I should say Hasbro went there. We're not only going to change them into humans, we're going to change them into gargoyles. But long story short, and if you didn't see this coming, then you're an idiot, that of course Twilight is able to get her crown back and uses the power of her element to ponify the humanized versions of the ponies. And that too, I was like, what? Really? Really? Oh my god, really? See, we had ponies, and then we humanized them. And then Twilight ponifies the humanized version of ponies. I'm not kidding! Their ears, which are, against their head, now go up, so like you see them poking through their hair, and all of their hair, like, suddenly extends in this transformation scene, and goes down, like, a significant length, and then basically does what their tail does as ponies. Like, Rarity's hair extends and then does that super curly thing that her tail does. And Rainbow Dash, like, everyone's like... And then Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy now have wings. We have humans with wings now! I can't remember, did Rarity get a unicorn horn? I don't remember. But we defeat Sunset Shimmer, and her punishment is to stay in the human world forever and rebuild the school by hand that which she destroyed with her gargoyle powers. I'm not kidding. Her punishment at the end is Celestia and Luna hand her a trowel and some bricks, and she has to start repairing the school with snails and snips, while everyone else goes to the dance. So everyone's at this dance. Rainbow Dash is literally flying around in the gymnasium. At one point she grabs Scootaloo and she's flying around Scootaloo. No one's questioning this. Nobody looks at this and says, holy crap, there's a chick with wings and stuff. Wow, that's not weird at all. I guess you wouldn't question that if everyone's skin color was... If the normal skin tone for your species was any color in the visible light spectrum, I guess you wouldn't really question wings on a person either. But I'm just saying, at that point in the movie, like I said, this movie was kind of a distraction. It was kind of silly the entire way through, just because I'm watching a My Little Pony movie that does not have ponies in it. It has the characters I love in it. It has Twilight and Fluttershy and all those other great characters whom I love. And they still have the exact same humor and the exact same hijinks that they always have had in episodes of My Little Pony. Pinkie Pie is still Pinkie Pie. Just screw physics. Pinkie Pie doesn't care what the laws of physics are. She'll make up whatever she wants. And Pinkie Pie in this universe is the exact... I mean, like, literally everything about these characters is the exact same as the pony version of those characters. I mean, Pinkie still has Pinkie sense. Pinkie has this innate ability to just bend the universe and know things that she can't possibly know. So this movie, like I said, going into it, it started out like any episode of My Little Pony, and then it quickly became something completely different. And we had music, and again, they didn't overkill it with the songs. They had some good songs. I like the remix. I actually do like the remix of the main theme that they used during the opening credits. That was pretty cool. Oh man, that's got to become a ringtone. But really, this movie just kind of, in terms of reviewing it as an actual, like, judging it on its own merits, it kind of just had this kind of downward little thing, downward slope, because first we started up here in Ponyville, or I should say, we started up here in Ponyville, and then we go to the Crystal Kingdom. Now we're in the human world, and we start going down. Why are we human? I don't know. Twilight's being silly, so it kind of went back up. It's like Twilight's trying to figure out how it is to be human, so it's kind of funny. But then we're going to continue going down, and everyone just votes for Twilight because, and conflict resolution is done. And then we turn into gargoyles. We turn into gargoyles for some reason. And, yeah. I still had a great time. Despite all that I've just kind of picked apart about this movie, I still had a fun time. And if my work schedule wasn't what it was, I would go back and see it in theaters. As it is, I'm just going to have to wait for it to come out on DVD. You know. So, in conclusion, what did I think of Equestria Girls? I thought it was unnecessary in terms of making them human. And yeah, I know I sound like a broken record about that, but I mean, it's called My Little Pony for a reason. Us fans, we fell in love with it because of that reason. We like the ponies, we like the tone, we like where they are, the environment, we like Ponyville, we like this magical world, we like the magic in it. That is something I didn't care for this. There was no magic. We're in high school now, and I hate it. God, I hate it when ever any movie or TV show or any person in real life, you know that high school is not the most important part of your life. It's not. I mean, things seem more important in high school because it's that interesting time in your life where you're growing up, you're starting to mature into adults, and you're getting your driver's license, and, you know, you're starting to have more responsibilities. So it seems like a big deal in your life. And to those of you who are experiencing high school right now, it does seem like a big deal, and nothing else could possibly be more important than what you're doing right now. And I don't want to say that anyone's life is unimportant or any part of anyone's life is unimportant, but compared to the full spectrum of life, when you're going to grow up and have a job and move out of your parents' house and get married and, you know, start a family, those are much bigger things than, you know, than failing the math test in fourth period and, you know, someone seeing, you know, the goofy backpack that your mom got you. It's just, you know, I don't talk to anyone. No, I'm not going on that. I'm not going there. So anyway, I just don't like it when movies and like they try to make like Twilight's biggest adventure, her biggest dilemma, her biggest problem ever, surviving high school. Really? Come on. She fought and defeated the spirit of chaos. She stopped, you know, Princess Luna when she was trying to take over the world and plunge it into eternal darkness. She stopped a shadow smoke pony from re-enslaving the Crystal Empire. I mean, there's so much. She's fought Hydras, she's fought Cerberus, she's fought dragons, and you're telling me high school? Really? Really? This is her biggest task ever, is to survive high school. Really? So, once again, in conclusion, I liked this movie. If you're a fan of Friendship is Magic, you'll probably like this movie. Not necessarily because it's good, but because it's silly, but because it's endearing, because it's funny, because it's cute. You're not going to like this movie if you haven't seen the show and if you aren't a fan of it. I'll tell you that now. That being said, I am going to, like I said, I'm going to pick this up on DVD when it comes out. And, yeah, I like this movie. I wouldn't say it's a good movie, but for fans of the show, it's right up your alley. It is an episode of My Little Pony done with people. So, I think I've said all I've got to say on that, and I'll end it there. Have a good one.
Big adventure, tons of fun, a beautiful heart, faithful and strong, sharing kindness, it's an easy feat.